Roberta.
What's going on, Renisha?
Oh, girl, life. But in a good way.
All right, all right. Welcome, listeners, to Taboo Chronicles. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Roberta the Tool. I'm Roberta the Tool Lady, and I have the Queen.
Nisha, the social advocate. And there's Jackie, the wellness advocate.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, welcome, Jackie. Well, let me first start off by saying we appreciate you all for joining us tonight or whenever you do get to listen to this podcast. We appreciate you joining us. We appreciate you following us, liking us on social media, letting us know what you think about our show. Um, and I just wanted to share an insight. It is winter time and it is wintering, right? So it's very cold, it's drizzly. Me and my sisters, we all scattered because we did our best. I'm pretty sure they did their best as I did not to take a nap and just roll up in my blanket.
Yes.
This weather will make you do it. It's pretty yucky. It's a soup and chili and just pajama day. So we just appreciate y'all. All right, ladies, y'all want to share how y'all feel tonight?
Oh, child. I feel like Roberta said, I just want to go to sleep. This weather is doing a number. It's foggy outside right now. And that didn't help on my drive home. So, hey, I want some hot chocolate at this point. I
Right,
do. Snuggle up under my blanket, watch some movies with my dog. Have a good night.
right.
Yeah, I agree. I have felt sleepy all day long. I woke up late. And when I mean late. The kids did not get to school till like 9 a.m. or something like that because I did not hear my alarms. I had like three different alarms. I didn't hear any. And my husband called me like four times. I answered on the fourth time. I didn't hear nothing. I was out. But that's also a sign for me that I may be getting sick, and I have been feeling a little sick. So that's what happens too. I sleep very hard. So the rain didn't help because when it
Yeah.
rains, I get even more sleepier.
Right, right. And then also to just remind our audience about seasonal depression. This is a good time and good example of it all across the United States right now because it's cold. Some places are snowed in. I know Oklahoma was iced in. So cabin fever, depression, that's seasonal. They want you to know that if you don't get over it within a couple of days, and it goes into a couple of weeks, do reach out and get professional help with it. But this is the season that we're in. So I know we're all feeling a little drab today.
And I also want to remind our viewers and listeners not only of your mental well-being but your physical well-being too. This is also flu and COVID season. Wash those hands regularly. Disinfect your household. Disinfect your keys, your phone. Stay hydrated. Vitamin C, oregano, your vitamins, whatever you got to do. Stay proactive so you don't get sick, and you don't want to get sick and also spread it to others. So please, please, please take care of yourselves right now.
Definitely, because I think I did hear something about the I just had a brain fart that the cases are rising
Mm-hmm.
again.
It's that season.
So, and I think that's not surprising either because a lot of people go out of state or out of town. around others that they've never been really constantly around. So then they, that's how they get sick too. And then, then it's a domino effect after that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
expect it to rise again every time, every year around this season because it's flu season. Everybody's getting sick. The weather's changing. And viruses is on the loose. So
Yes.
get those vaccines if you believe in them. Just stay proactive. We lost
Yes,
Roberta,
definitely.
huh?
Yeah, we lost Roberta.
Well, I mean, we can go ahead and get into the topic if you like, Jackie.
Yeah, go ahead and start us off because I just noticed that we're not, for some reason, I'm not streaming. So right now, once I log in, it may kick me out. So just know that you may be standing a little
Oh,
bit. It should take a quick like 2 minutes if I do get kicked out.
okay. Well, tonight's topic, everyone, and she did get kicked out, is boundaries. So, boundaries are very important part of relationships. Boundaries, for those that might not know, are basically rules and regulations that you apply to yourself, well, to others for yourself, for others to know how to handle you, right? So it's more for like self governance so that you are not treated or talked to or experience anything that you don't want to or that does not make you feel good or makes you feel less of a person or anything like that. So, a good example of boundaries, a simple example would be not getting hugs. Your friend might be a hugger, you're not a hugger. A boundary is, hey, I know you like to hug, but please don't hug me. I don't like it, right? So a really good important part or aspect of boundaries is to, hey, Roberta.
Hey.
Yeah. Um, I was just explaining boundaries. I was giving the example of hugs. And I was explaining that a good aspect or something to remember about boundaries is to be precise and concise and straight to the point. You don't want your boundary to feel like it seem like it's an option for people. You want to be very sure. I don't like it. I won't accept it. This is not okay. Please do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically where I'm at. If you ladies want to say something or put something in, I know y'all were out.
Okay. Well, I just wondered what do you guys think about, because I've noticed certain populations have the most problems putting in boundaries. Why would you why is that?
Um, I know I can speak about, within the Hispanic culture, especially I want to say probably all the different, you have Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Salvadorian, Hondurans, Guatemalan. I want to say across all of them, based off of people that I know from those different races, is that um, we tend to really be very cohesive and together and in each other's business. And um, when you start to create boundaries like I did, people start having a problem with it and they think that you're being mean and you're being rude and that's disrespectful. And it's like, how is it disrespectful when I say I don't want to go to an event today because I'm tired, the kids are tired, and we're just going to stay in? But it really, really is like a problem. That was just one example. It's just a problem. Or if you stop calling someone, your mom, your dad, or in-laws about your problems, because you're like, you know what, that's not the person I should be talking to. I need to be talking to a professional, or I need to talk to a friend whom I know is not involved in it whatsoever and brings an outside perspective and looks at everything from all different angles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because that creates problems too, because then the family member takes everything back to everyone else. And then you're like, how you know? Well, you end up knowing how because you only ended up telling one person. So it just ends up being a problem. They think that it's disrespectful, and it's unfortunate, right? Because I'm trying to instill this with my kids too. You know, it's okay to say no. It's okay to not want to hug someone, because hugging and shaking everyone's hand is like a thing in our cultures too. Like, you must say hi to everyone. You must either shake their hands or you must hug them. And it's like, no, like that's why, you know, what happened to me when I was a kid, you know, because there was no boundaries. So, you know, there has to be boundaries, and parents need to stop forcing kids to say hi to everyone. Like, saying hi is fine, but they don't need to be forced to hug someone or shake someone's hand.
Wow. um I really appreciate you giving us that insight of cultural, because I thought about cultural, but I was also, when I asked the question, was also talking about what you went into it kind of, but our groups that get exploited or get taken advantage of, or get they get taken advantage of in certain populations because of having no boundaries, or and then even after they get took advantage of, they still don't want to, not that they don't want to, but they still don't almost feel like they are valid enough to even have boundaries. Does that sound right?
Yes. 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 I love the way you put that, Roberta. It's almost as if you are socialized from birth. And I can just speak for the experiences that I've seen or my own experiences, that you are not worthy of having boundaries. Like, having boundaries with other people is wrong. And I feel like this is mostly something that we teach children somehow, because children are children. They are less deserving of a lot of different things, answers, having boundaries, having a voice, having a say so. And the damaging part about that is a lot of children or people do not grow or learn better as they become adults. So then, as you're an adult, it's hard for you to set boundaries. You feel like Jackie said, you're being disrespectful, or you're wrong, or you're hurting this person's feelings, or you're not enough person or worth or worthy of having boundaries and a say so and agency over your body and the things that you have from people is or accept from people, especially when you're dealing with people who do not like to respect boundaries, who feel like you aren't worthy as well. So then you experience gaslighting. I know everybody hates that word, but gaslighting, people try to make you seem like you're crazy, you're wrong, you're hurting their feelings, these different things. And I want to encourage everyone to stand firm in your boundaries and not allow anybody to make you feel like you're wrong, or you're too good. You think you're better than us. Well, you might be. Let's get into it. I am better than that. I am better than you.
Right.
So respect me. Disrespectfully respect me. So I
Right.
mean, that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. I mean, because you guys did hit on that. Those are the populations that you don't see people, that you don't see them take up for themselves. Like I said, like you said, not worthy or not valid to have boundaries, to even say, hey, I have a bad time, or hey, I do this while I'm at work, and when I'm off of work, this is what I do. And I heard you go over physical boundaries, but there's several different boundaries that I'm gonna go ahead and start naming them off, and then we're gonna keep talking a little bit about it, because I want you to know what these boundaries look like. Because we hear a lot of talk about it. With social media, they put a lot more out about it. So social media, they're always talking about boundaries, but the truth is, if you've never had them, you don't really know what they are.
Right.
And then, as the ladies just said, some of this is cultural. So that means that you may not come from a family of boundaries. I can honestly say, even in my household, We lacked boundaries. Why? Because we were overmeshed, meaning and we were several people, and
Mhm.
we all believed in.
All one.
That's
Mm.
right. That's right.
And I think part of it is because a lot of us who are non-white people, we come from a very collectivistic community, which is a good thing because it's a lot of togetherness. But at certain points, it can become damaging or detrimental because it seems like people, um, we're so together, we tend to blend together, and everyone lose sight of individuality. While we are all one and we all, love each other and are in this together, we all still have our own individual identities. So
Mhm.
I just want to throw that in there. My bad, Roberta. Keep going.
No, that's good stuff. No, that's good stuff. I want, because the thing is that we do want to educate people. We don't want you just saying my boundaries and thinking it's one thing when it's dimensional, right? So it's good that we break it down, and also that we share different, different aspects, because it is different. It is different for each of us, and some of us really didn't even know what they were, you
Hmm.
know. Now, the other boundaries, from physical, you have sexual, you know, uh, which if someone, of course, we tell the children, someone touch you, they shouldn't touch you, right? But sometimes we have already messed up the boundary with saying, oh, that's Uncle such and such, and go sit over there by it. So we done already made the child's boundaries where they don't know any better. And then so it's sexual. It could also be a person just talking up under your clothes. What's that about? Ooh, that must shake, because jelly don't do it like that. When those are sexual boundaries.
Hmm.
And so that's crossing someone's boundary. Intellectual boundary. That's uh, just certainly just lying to a person straight to their face, and they know that you're lying. Have you ever heard someone say, "Don't play with my intellect"? That's
Hmm.
a boundary. That's a boundary. Um, and then you got money boundaries, and the money boundary is just simply borrowing money from people that you know when that's not really a need, not based off of a need, but just being able to exploit that person
Hmm.
or take opportune. I know Larry got 15 grand yesterday, and I'm going to get half of it. That's exploit, or I'm going to hang out with him long enough to spend all this money with him. That's exploitation. And even though we're friends and we're family, and we got that mindset, we're still going against a financial boundary. Ladies, you want to add to any of those boundaries?
Let me think. No, I think you touched on it pretty well. That pretty much covers um, most of it. Yeah, it's just self governance, respect people in the way that they want to be respected. Just because um, so and so didn't like was okay with you talking to her a certain way or interacting with her a certain way does not mean that her sister will or her brother will or her mom will. So I think it's important for us to understand that boundaries are not black and white for everybody. Everybody's boundaries are different, and it's important to respect people in the way that they want to be respected, whether we agree or not. I think that's a really good point that we need to touch on. Just because you don't agree with someone's boundaries does not give you the right to disrespect their boundaries. If I say I don't like when you say XYZ about me, or you make these comments when we're in conversation and you say, "Oh, I don't mean it like that. That's not what I mean, blah 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 blah. I don't see why you're upset." It does not matter how you mean it. I know you might not mean it like that, but I don't like the way that comment makes me feel. I feel less than human when you say that. So regardless of how you feel about it, I don't like it, and I don't get to. I don't say I don't like something, and you get to tell me no. That's not how that works. If I don't like it, I don't like it, and you're going to respect that. And if you can't, we can't be friends. We can't have communications, or I'm going to take a step back from you, or X, Y, and Z, because we also have to understand that when we don't respect people's boundaries, that we risk damaging our relationship, right? And people also tend to think, oh, we can just fix this relationship. Oh, we're so close. There's nothing we should be able to not get past. That's not true at all. That's another way to disrespect me, because that sounds like to me, you think you can just treat me however you want to, and I'm just supposed to be cool with it past a certain amount of time because we're close. No, if you respected me as your friend or as your whatever I am to you, and you respected my boundaries, you wouldn't even think that way. You would value my relationship with you way more than to just think no matter what happens, we should just accept my apology, or we should be able to work things out. Because past a certain point, sometimes relationships are not repairable. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't understand. Once you've done so much to somebody, or disrespected them so much, or not respected their boundaries, or crossed their boundaries so much, there's no going back. And that also looks different for everybody. So just because your other friend accepted this, that, or your other boyfriend or girlfriend accepted all these different things, does not mean that your next friend or your next boyfriend or partner is going to accept those. And they might cut you off after the second time. Your other friend cut you off after the 20th.
Right.
So I think that's another part that a lot of people, I encourage our viewers to think about.
That's right. What does it look like to have healthy boundaries? I think certain things you certainly can see people do, or happen what things that happened to them, and you could see, okay, that was from a poor boundary. Not necessarily was it from their choice, but it was from the boundaries they set. Like I said, I know some people who, Chuck got 7 grand yesterday. I seen him hit at the casino, and I want some of this. Well, that's a boundary. I mean, it really is. And then it's knowing that you're doing it. Kind of like Renisha said, you're knowing that you're going to cross their boundaries, because you're doing it willingly. You're and with the purpose. And I think people don't we don't think about it, but it is going to cross the boundary. Like I said, money is another way, a good way of ruining a good relationship or a long term relationship.
It's very true. That is very true. You just, and I want people to also understand too that setting a boundary, I might get a little taboo here, or what you may call it. I feel like a lot of the times people use boundaries as a way to not to avoid things, right? So, like for example, if there's conflict between you and another person, at some point, it's important to address the conflict if you continue to be around this person or friends with this person or whatever the case may be. But don't use your boundary as saying, "Oh, I just don't want to talk about it right now. Respect my boundary," as a way to not hold yourself accountable or to not utilize conflict resolution skills with this person if you continue to be around them. At some point, I get it first if it's still heavy, if it's still triggering, if it's, all these different things. But at some point, you you can't use your boundary as an excuse to just waltz on through life and ignore or sweep certain things under the rug.
Yeah.
What y'all think about that?
Well, I get what you're saying, because I've heard you say it before. When and like we're saying now, we're in such a social media time when
Exactly.
everything is at access, and then everybody's talking about, uh, you know, uh, if you don't like it, cut them off, or I can cut you off, or there was something else that I seen. Oh, real women. Oh, I can sit at the table by myself, you know so a lot of those sayings on social media, I don't think they're healthy, And I think that's kind of what you're saying. Don't use you saying, "Oh, this is a boundary that I set," as to say that that's where I'm operating now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
cutting people off rather than trying, or like you said before, I think last time we were on, you were talking about how some relationships, it's not realistic saying you're gonna cut all the relationships off just because
Mm-hmm.
something go bad.
Yeah, like that whole protect my peace thing, and
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
nothing wrong with it, but I feel like people just taking it to a whole new level, and you have to be realistic. You can protect your peace and still, people are people. Like people are human. Like no relationship is perfect. Nothing in life is perfect. Nothing is indefinite. So you're gonna have conflict. Do not use protect my peace as a way to just not utilize conflict resolution skills, work on your relationship, grow yourself from the inside out, hold yourself accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things that we experience with people or just in life in general are learning opportunities and growth opportunities. And if you cut everybody off and you're protecting your peace and you're not setting these boundaries with people, or you're not respecting other people's boundaries, are you really protecting your peace, or are you just running away from everything?
Right,
You know?
right.
What are you really doing? And then after so long, are you really going to be at peace when you don't know how to have a healthy relationship? You don't know how to respect a healthy boundary. You don't know how to set a healthy boundary. You don't know nothing about nothing. And now you alone. Why? And nobody likes you. Like, are you really going to be at peace?
I think that working on those tools, getting those tools to have healthy boundaries, right? To
Oh,
live a healthy
important.
lifestyle.
Yes.
I think that's true because I see a lot of it. And what I don't, I really, I want to say I don't like. I guess I can say I don't like it. I don't like women being pitted up against other women,
I don't either.
and those things kind of doing that because it's like, I'm a woman who don't mind
Oh, what happened? I wanted to hear that. Come back, Roberta.
they're pitting us up against each other.
We didn't hear you. Repeat that. You cut out for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said that I don't like, because we as women already have a problem with looking each other up and down, not bonding, sisterhood, supporting each other. And then here we are, we got a lot all the social media saying it's okay to cut each other off. It's okay to eat at the table by yourself, like you were saying. So it really does pit us up against each other. And that's what I don't like. That it just pits us up against each other. And so many women are dealing with self-esteem issues and they don't have the tools to have healthy friendships.
Mm-hmm.
So many women don't even know what they are or healthy boundaries in relationships. They might meet someone and say, "Hey, you want to drive my car?" Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm. I've seen people do that.
I have too. And you're like, what? Did you let them have a whole car?
What are
Or,
your thoughts on single women hanging with married couples? Oh, can I have this one? Can I have this one? Can I have
oh,
this one? Please let me have this one.
go ahead and have it.
My thoughts on single women hanging out with married women, there's no problem with that. I think it's very important to hang around people who are on different walks of life, as long as y'all are not damaging anything, you're not doing anything you shouldn't be doing, you're not hurting anyone in the process. I think single women need to hang out with married women so that they can get better insight on what maybe married life might be like. They can get better insight on singleness. Y'all can learn from each other. Y'all can grow from each other. I don't necessarily think that's a boundary, because you don't identify somebody else's boundary, right? If you're a single woman and you don't want to hang out with married women, married people, or whatever, that's your boundary. But you don't get to tell someone else what their boundary is. Now, if you prefer not to be around or date women that don't want to or whatever, okay, fine. But I don't think it's fair to tell someone, because I see a lot in relationships, right? Like men and women get mad at their partner for hanging out with single people. Well, before you got here, my best friend been single for 10 years. I'm not going to stop hanging out with my best friend of 10 years because you don't like the fact that I hang out with somebody that's single. Her singleness has nothing to do with me. I'm committed to you. My loyalty is in you. And if you question that, then we have something that needs to be addressed. But the fact that I'm hanging with a single person should not have an effect on how you view me, as long as we ain't doing nothing we ain't supposed to be doing. But I don't think it's fair to try to pressure someone to cut their friends off, or their family members off for all these different things. Because let's keep it a buck. Married people cheat every day. Married people is hoes every day. I see it. I've experienced it. Married men try to talk to me all day, every day. That being married and being single really don't mean too much these days. A married woman gonna sleep with a single man. A married woman will sleep with a married man. That don't even matter at this point. People gonna do what they want to do regardless. So me not hanging out with a single woman is not gonna make me more loyal to you. I'm gonna be as loyal to you as I want to be to you.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I wrong?
I think that's probably a wives' tale or something like
Oh,
that.
are you okay with being a third wheel? I
I
mean,
I
as
wouldn't
long
have
as
a
they
problem
cool.
with it. Because guess what? You like you said, it's unrealistic to say all of my friends are married. That's or all of my friends are single. That's unrealistic. You know, how many people are you going to be friends with? Now you might say, okay, we can do a couples night where we can bond with another couple with similarities, but to be realistic, friends like I have friends from when I was in grade school. And some of them are married, some of them are not. I can't say, oh, I'm not going to ever talk to you again because you're married. I got some that got remarried. But, you know, our friendship is still the same. So we couldn't really say, you couldn't say it's not realistic. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend. Okay, so a lot of my friends, let me backtrack since this is about married couples and being a third wheel. A lot of my friends have been friends since college or high school, right? So I've been friends with these people inside of marriages, inside of relationships, and singleness. So one of my best friends is married, and I go to her house all the time and hang out with her and her husband. Like it's no big thing. I've known him since he's met her. I mean, him and I have developed a relationship, of course, a healthy one and respectful one. But I go hang out with them all the time, and it don't bother me
Yeah.
none.
Yeah. Realistically, you're not going to be able to. Now, Jackie, what do you think? I mean, I think Jackie's the married one out of us, all three of us right
Mm-hmm.
now. So she would be our third wheel. What's going on, Jackie?
Yeah. So I want to say that out of all my friends, like if we're talking about like close circle friends, like close friends that I can count in my hand, only one is married. No, two are married. One is married, one is in a relationship. Um Basically married, they've been together forever. Uh so I don't think there's an issue if my husband's friends are single, like male friends are single, and he doesn't have an issue with my female friends being single either, whether they're single or married. He has no issue with it either. um Now I will say that we will have conversations, like if him and I are having some issue, um and I go and tell one of my friends, and the friend I'm talking to happens to be single, of course that person's perspective is going to be different. Oh no, drop him. Oh no, kick him out the house. So yeah, no. Do my single friends hang with me and my husband? No. And I think that's because I guess I really don't know. I don't know why we haven't hanged out.
But it's
I
not it's not intentional. It's just something that
It's
just
not
happens.
intentional. Yeah, it's not intentional whatsoever. At all. At all.
Now, what I
And
would go ahead.
yeah, and however, I will say this. I this is me personally. I have an issue if my husband has friends that are a girl. he has an issue if I have friends that are males. Now, however, he has come to understand that in my field, in the work that I do, I have to have a lot of meetings, and or I have developed friendships with some of these leaders for the reason that they are the leaders, and we're constantly consistently seeing each other and working together and collaborating on different things both inside and outside of work. So they are friends in a sense, but we don't hang out. It's more of we see each other. We happen to come across each other at events. Or I do have one friend whom he invited us to his son's birthday party, and we went. We did go. Given he did also like rent some of our tables and chairs for his son's birthday party. So that is one friend that actually knows both me and my husband. But the initial friendship or encounter was with me, and then but he's married, and I know his wife too, and his wife and I have developed a friendship as well. So yeah, we both went together to the birthday party with our kids. So that is a friendship that now all of us, are start wanting to develop, a different type of relationship, friendship with each other. But yeah, I don't, and I think maybe sometimes I'm biased. I with me because I do have, and let me say this: I've always gotten along better with men than I have with women. Always. I've always, and when I was in school, in middle school, high school, elementary school, I had more male friends than I had girlfriends. And I don't know if that was because girls tended to be more catty and more gossipy and start drama out of nowhere, and the guys were more laid back, and we would laugh at those situations. So I do get along way better with men, than I do with women. Women, I can count them on my hand. It's like 5 friends that I actually have a consistent relationship and communication with, and we hang out or we talk constantly and things like that. But I do click and can have better conversations with males than I can with females. I don't know why. It's been like that since I was a kid. So, and I think I wouldn't have an issue with my husband if he had a friend. Like there is one person at his job that he constantly tells me about her, and I've seen her, I've said hi and things like that, but me and her have never talked. But um I know that he has encounters with this person all the time because she's like the scheduler for interviews and all these kinds of different things. But long story short, that's one person that I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like she doesn't mean any ill will or bad intention or anything like that. So if, one day he was like, oh, she invites us to this place. Okay, cool, let's go. Let's go. Cause now I get to meet her and really get to know her, and I'm a people person. I befriend everyone that I meet too. That's also, I'm an outgoing person. Difference between my husband and I'm outgoing. He's an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've never been married. I was engaged, but when I was engaged, my single friends hang out with us. We would all go to comedy clubs together, the movies, and my fiance would pay, and it didn't bother me anything because I knew it was. I knew it was in good fun. I knew it wasn't no shit
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
And
Um,
then to come back to what we're talking about, boundaries. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think it could be healthy because because you can't necessarily say everybody going to be single at one time. Everybody I
Mm-hmm.
know is going to be married at one time. That's not been realistic. And then like I said, some old friends that you're really not really really wanting to get rid of or discord because they're not married or because you're married and they're not, whichever. I don't think it's realistic, but I think as long as boundaries are in place, if you're not
Yeah.
discussing things that go on inside your home with those individuals, I think that's where things get a lot real sticky. Or if you,
Yeah,
for that
I think
case, go ahead.
with that, before you go, keep going. Don't mean to interrupt you, but with that, what you're saying, don't talk about what's going on inside in the home. Um, I I pick and choose who I say what to whom, because I know what person is going to give me bad advice and what person is going to give me good advice,
Me too.
or and what person that's going to give me both sides of the coin. They're going to play devil's advocate, right? Um, but I've learned whom not to say anything to now. Now I've learned. Because what I don't want to do is to come off as a person who cries wolf and then still, you know, whatever given situation, still here, still with my husband, what have you. And then or there to judge or to scrutinize my husband's image to a person whom has never met him.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
that.
ruin someone's image. You can ruin, how someone perceives another person by
Yeah,
what you tell them.
yeah. But I was even being more specific is that more specific than that, like how you guys had sex last night, or oh,
No,
he
no.
did this, because what that does, that's going against the boundary.
Yeah. I asked my
I think,
husband,
okay,
I said,
I have a quick question. I have a quick question. When we're talking about this, I think for me, I think the part that I'm missing when I'm discussing things with you guys is the fact that the boundary is someone's boundary, because that's what a boundary is. We
yeah.
can say like,
Hmm.
oh, it's a boundary. Well, who said it's a boundary? Whose boundary is it? Like
Yeah.
boundaries aren't, like I was saying earlier, boundaries aren't just what they are. Boundaries are
Mhm.
specific to a certain person. So
Yeah.
if I'm okay with talking to my homegirl about the sex I had last night with my man, and my man's okay with me expressing my emotions or what I enjoyed or what I didn't like, or just getting that off my chest with my homegirl because I can't get it off with him if we having problems or whatever, then is it really a boundary? It's not, because everybody's okay with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no
That's why I
boundary.
Well,
say you have to
Now,
have a conversation.
now
well,
in
Mm-hmm.
you,
the ideal, no. Are you opening the door to maybe some sticky things? Yes. But is it a boundary? Is it
well,
a
you
boundary? No,
it,
it's not, because
It
everybody is okay with it.
I was about to say it depends on the conversations that you have had, like you knowing how this person is, and both parties, like in this situation, knowing that it's okay, it's fine. No one, it doesn't cross any line with them, and things like that. I know personally, I would not. I think maybe the most um what is it, lay term way or relaxed way that I may say something, or that my girlfriends may say something about their man is like, ooh, girl, that other night was amazing. And that's about as much as we go into it. We don't talk details. We don't talk about what I did, what he did, all this stuff. We don't do none of that.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. That's where
Especially,
boundary with me.
yeah.
I'm going into detail. And she be like,
Mm-hmm.
girl, for real, my man did that like to me the other night. Woo, woo, woo. I have a friend, not all my friends, but I have a specific friend. We get
Yeah.
very detailed, and she be like, girl, he did this. Tell so and so do that to you too, because it feel good. And I be like, girl, for real, okay, I'm gonna tell him. Like, I have one specific friend that I do that with, and neither one of us are crossing boundaries because we're okay with having those kind of discussions.
this
And whoever, the
conversation.
men don't really give a fuck about us talking about having the sex. Like a lot of times men like when you brag about it anyway, or they just
Yeah.
aren't really too keen on whatever you and your homegirl talk about that you feel like you need to talk about with your homegirl to get off your chest or whatever. Do that. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
because I know I asked my husband, I said, do you ever talk to, like, do you and your guy friends, because given I know his close guy friends, like I know them, like we're like a tight knit group and been a tight knit group for the past 13 years. And I've asked him, like, have you had these conversations with them? Because I know these men personally. Like,
yeah,
please don't tell me that you have had these conversations of what goes on in our bedroom. He's like, no, never. He's like, we don't even talk about anything really, like ever. And now the girls, we don't go into detail ever either. We may say, oh, he don't do that, or I don't do that, heck no, kind of situation. Like if someone says something random, but we don't ever go into detail. And I don't think I've ever had any conversation like that, other than maybe a question like, hey, have you ever tried this? What is this like? Just so, because maybe it's something I haven't tried and I want to know about it, curious. And I know how much of a freak my friend is that I'm like, I know she tried it. Let me ask her. So yeah, what is Keisha says, men not gonna discuss their women.
Yes,
It's
I
an
see
ego
that.
thing. It is. They will discuss a boo or a sneaky link, but
Yeah,
the
but
main, no.
Well, the idea of that's a woman, that's a wise tale too. The idea is that you'll tell somebody how good something is, and they'll go right behind you to that thing. You see?
trying to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why you got to be careful.
Mhm. Yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. And, you know, um, I have a really, despite any conversations that have had with anyone ever, maybe even here with you ladies, I think as human beings, we are all flawed. We all make mistakes. So there's not one person that is perfect whatsoever. Um, I can say my man he's a great provider. He picks up the slack when, especially like when I'm going through it, when I'm in bad chronic depression episodes, so things like that. So I, taking this opportunity to be like, whatever anyone I have ever told anyone anything, just know that he's not a bad guy. He's not. And I hate to have painted him as such to anyone ever. And now I learned, moving forward, that that's a boundary now for me. And for us, really, because we've had a conversation, right? So again, it comes with conversation, with discussion. What is one party okay with and not the other party, and come into an agreement. She said, not even with my mama. Now, when my mom was alive, I told her
No, I ain't
everything.
doing that with my mom. I ain't talking about nothing like that with my mom.
My mom was my best friend. Remember, she had me at 15. So
Oh, yeah.
we were really like sisters. She laid the law when she needed to lay that law, right? But I told my mom everything, and she told me everything. When I say everything, I mean details. So yeah, so that was not a boundary with my mother. But like you said, everyone's different. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
they are.
boundaries are
They
very
are.
important in a marriage, in a relationship, in friendships,
And
especially so
respect
you don't
all the
ruin the friendships.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Because even hitting, which Nisha talked about physical, but even hitting someone, stealing someone's property is a boundary issue. Of course, you're taking something that's somebody else's. That's
Yeah,
a boundary.
yeah.
And they want their stuff. So there's boundaries all over, even bullying, or even to that matter, even cussing someone out. That's it's a bullying deal, and
There's
it's
some
also
good point with
abuse.
that. Yeah, with the cussing.
Hmm.
I think it's a new generation thing. Think it's a Gen Z thing where they call each other bitch. Be like, oh yeah, bitch, this happened, or man, I haven't
No,
seen that.
I know people older than me that do that.
No, I've never known anyone to talk like that. At least to me or ever around me, I had never heard it
And if
before.
I'm being honest, I think it's a black woman thing.
Oh,
I
these
do.
these people I'm talking about, they're not black, they're Hispanics.
I think black people have been doing that for a very long time, for
Really?
generations and generations. Yeah. So there's this thing, this is off topic, right? And this
Okay.
might shake the table. It might be a little taboo, but there's this shirt that I've been seeing that my sister also bought that says, hold on, let me make sure I get it right. Gay men, no, white women copying gay men, copying black women. So a
Mm.
lot of these things that people are, and I'm not saying your friend or whoever you're talking about is doing
Hmm.
that, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying there's a lot of copying from black women that has been going on to where now for you it's new, but Black women are always like the butt of the joke, or a Southern thing too, the butt of the joke. The blueprint, whatever you may call it, because whatever. But for some reason, it seems like a lot of people's identity is rooted in Black women's personality, right? So I think that is kind of cultural as well, and certain things from different cultures just trickle on down.
Yeah. Well,
But
we set the culture. So we do set the culture.
Yeah.
If you look at dancing, the rapping, and that's worldwide. So we set the pretense on
Yeah.
just about everything,
Mhm.
and not just rapping. What before that, what is it, soul, R&B? We
blues.
always set the and people do go about doing things that we do now. I don't know that, and you are kind of right about the gay community, because that's where I used to hear them call each other bitches all the time. So you know, I didn't never. Well, I know a family, they address each other like that, but just as far as people, I never really had friends that's how we talk to each other.
I,
Um,
Yeah,
right.
well, it was my younger brother and sister-in-law that they said it in conversation to me, and I said, "Oh, hold up, wait a minute, pause right there.
no, you
I'm
can't do
older
it
than
with just
you.
anybody.
I
No,
am
no.
older than you, and I'm your
Mhm.
sister-in-law. You're not gonna talk to me like that." Now I have friends that do it. I don't mind if they do it, but you talking about you're my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law. That's a different relationship from a
Mhm.
friendship, because I see you like my little brother and my little sister. Because my biological brother don't even talk to me like that. My brother, like he knows better. Like if it slips out his mouth, he's like, "Ooh," he's like, "I'm so sorry." He's like, I'm sorry." He's like, "You're not my friend. You're my sister. I need to respect you." So it's a respect thing for me, and that's like a big boundary when it comes to family. Because in my husband's household, they grew up cussing at each other, like not cussing at each other, but using cuss words in conversation.
Yeah.
We would never, my mama would slap me across my face if I would ever
Mhm.
try to talk with cuss words in a conversation. Even when I was older, and I would say something like, "Man, I don't, man, I'm like, "Ooh, mom, I'm sorry." She's like, "You're a grown ass woman. Like, it's fine." No, 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 no. Like, no,
Yeah,
that's not
it's a
okay.
respect thing for me.
Yeah.
I
So the
might
fact
not
that
on
they do
30,
it,
I might let one slip here and there, like ass or something like that.
yeah.
I ain't gonna get too crazy with it. I ain't gonna get too
Yeah,
crazy.
no, they get like very like intense with it and stuff. I'm like, ooh, like this is too like even to this day, my husband and I, 14 years, even to this day, I still get uncomfortable. And I will tell something to my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law. Cause again, I'm older, and they may get upset, but for me, I'm like, it's a respect thing. Like I don't think you should be talking using that kind of potty mouth around your parents.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
But everybody's boundary is different.
Yeah, if their parents are fine with it. And I'm like, how? Because I'd be damned if my boys talk like that around me. Go talk like that with your friends, but you ain't talking like that around me.
Yeah.
Different boundaries.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, ladies, you want to end out the show?
You ended up. It was your topic,
I
Roberta.
know.
Is that an intellectual boundary you're exercising on?
Girl.
Oh, well, we're glad that you came out tonight to talk with us about boundaries. We hope that you got a clear understanding of what boundaries were, and that you also established boundaries. Most importantly, that you know that you're worthy of having them.
Yes.
Because like I said, a lot of demographics feel like I'm not even worthy to even have a boundary, whether with family or friends, or some people are just codependent, feel like they have to give a person everything in order to be liked, but feel better about yourself, and
People
establish
pleasers.
those. Uh-huh.
People pleasers.
Yeah, people pleasers,
Perfect.
people who just say yes to everything. That's a boundary issue. You have to be able to say, as Nisha was saying earlier, no, I'm not doing that. I'm okay with that. And no, you can't have this. You learn how to use some of those skills.
Yeah.
And
Or
I
if you have a negative connotation, I just like to say this. Don't want to say sorry. If you have a negative connotation with no, you can say not now. That's
Mhm.
another option because I know I have a negative connotation with no because I feel if I say no, I'm being mean, I'm being rude, to certain stuff. But if it's like a business thing, I'm like, not right now. I can't do that right now, but let me get back with you. So, in certain situations, in certain rooms, in certain environments, not right now if you're not okay with no.
Mhm. And I liked what you and Nisha also said. Be aware that boundaries need to be also set in place for you and your for children, for families, for everybody in the family actually. But if you're a parent for your children, boundaries need to be, and also respect their boundaries. When a child say no, uh, you know, uh, something this, I don't like that. Respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we came from a place where people did not respect what children told them, or even what children expressed when they felt something. But start respecting that. That's those are all boundaries. Like Nisha said, being able to say exactly what you want and being direct, and also and empowering not just each other, but empowering your children,
Mm-hmm.
to have these healthy boundaries is most important. So we really hope that you get a lot out of it. We're still in the new year, so it's still time for you to put that in your New Year's resolution, to try to get some of it under your belt as you go on throughout the year. That make this year makes even for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know, I certainly feel better when I am when I work into my boundaries, when I don't overextend myself, or when I don't say I'm going to do something that I know I can't do.
Or don't want to do.
Yeah, or right,
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, so
right.
create them
And, and
boundaries.
try to create a space in the relationships that you have for people to feel like it's easy to set boundaries with you. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's really important. You always want to foster a safe space for other people to interact with you.
Yes,
I think that's a
definitely.
great interpersonal skill. I think it's healthy. I think it can strengthen relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So I always try my best. Like if I feel like a friend is setting a boundary, or I can kind of pick up a vibe that, they're kind of uncomfortable, they don't really know how to respond. I'll be like, well, if you want to say no, or if you're upset about something, or if I said anything, please feel free to say something. I will not be offended. I want to respect you because I care about you. You're an
Mm-hmm.
important person to me. And I want you to be comfortable in a relationship with me. I want you to be comfortable around me. I value that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Well, this was great.
It was. I love y'all.
Yes, yes, I love y'all. I'm glad to have seen y'all. Next time we got to do this in person, all of us together again, because we get together and then it feels so good.
Yes.
And I hope everyone has a good night, and we'll see you not this coming Monday, but the Monday after, which would be February the 5th at 8 p.m. And y'all have a good night, and we all hope that you have a great week.
Follow us on Facebook.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Nisha. What were you saying? You're muted. You're muted.
I
She's going
know
at
what
it, but
she
she's
said.
muted.
You're muted, girl. She said follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
My
And
bad,
we got
all
y'all.
all
it
I'm
like,
just
social
talking.
media, and give us a holler. Let us know
Email
yes,
how we're
us
doing.
too. Questions, comments, concerns, topics, stories, whatever. We
yes,
got y'all.
yes, yes.
Right.
So yeah, have a good one.